Buck, it's 3:29 a.m. It's probably July 9th, marking now 2025, 9 years since I have left the libertarian wasteland of Florida.
Yes.
I landed in the libertarian wasteland under Jebediah Bushfield. Remember that when they say Jeb Bush, the J-E-B is John Ellis Bush. So you're saying John Ellis Bush every time you say Jeb Bush.
Don't worry about that.
It's so goofy.
Our politicians really do have the worst name. There was Mittens, for God's sakes.
Willard Mittens. Fucking dork. There's stuff and things going on. Alright, right, we know the news, right? Like, been doing news and comment for years. Is there anyone that doesn't know the news right now?
A lot of people don't know the news right now, and that's very concerning to me.
Oh, no. Probably don't know the detailed news.
Yeah.
It makes you want to do, like, celebrity gossip to bring in the crowd that doesn't know the news and
Right?
just tangent that way. And just be like, oh, and Christina Applegate had a disagreement with Alicia Silverstone, and that's why when House Bill 521 passed...
I like how your celebrity gossip is like 30 years old.
That's not the big stuff right now.
That's not the big stuff right now.
Applegate and Silverstone are not
No.
Okay, so Pauly Shore, he has a new movie coming out, and it really reminds me of when Newt Gingrich got on the House floor and pulled that bullshit, right? That's what the kids are tuning into. They want Pauly Shore references.
Yeah, sure.
Not Pauly Shore.
Not Pauly Shore references. But no, I do think that it is a problem with celebrity gossip. I also think that has crossed over into political commentary, and like now we have problems because, how many times have we been in the car and like complained about headlines where it's like, Marjorie Taylor Greene destroys Trump, or, as she disagrees with this, and it's like, she's still gonna vote for 95% of the shit she did. Nobody got destroyed. Everyone still has a job. They're all still fucking millionaires. Calm the fuck down with these goddamn, like, gossipy ass headlines.
Yeah.
And
I like these commentators at times. We're pretty ideologically aligned, but destroyed.
Right.
Destroyed. Ruined. Career over.
Ruined.
Ruined. Like, no, that's not a cool way to whip up the headlines. Okay, it's not. Shit, but, what did I see recently? One, hey man, I'm down to be unpopular. I'm down to be uncool. Because that's probably the thing to be right now.
I like how you say that now as if you didn't just reference Alicia Silverstone and Christina Applegate as if that was celebrity gossip news. But okay, yes. Continue. You may be uncool now. Go ahead.
What the fuck, man? It wasn't until July 9th. But right, Mexico's president sent aid to Texas?
Yeah.
Which also, if I was one of those aid workers from Mexico, I'd be like, I ain't motherfucking going. I'll take my write-up. I'll be insubordinate today. I'm not going in that fucking war zone where I'm the enemy. Fuck that.
Yeah, that's my thing. Like, I think that it's the responsible adult thing to do because people are dying. It's right there on the border, and there's, people cross back and forth between the border a lot. So, like, politically as an adult, and to be mature and responsible, I get it, but I wouldn't want to go, because how do you know the fucking ICE isn't going to come and send you to Sudan? I think that's where they're sending their latest batch of people, is to Sudan, where a civil war is about to break out, by the way. Like, yeah.
Like, don't go anywhere without your own fucking security forces that are going to fucking shoot ICE in the face if they fuck with you.
Yeah,
or these kidnappers pretend to be ICE.
Exactly. That was my next thing, is like, if it's even ICE.
Yeah.
Like, it's just dudes in masks, and I ain't going.
And the white leftists that like to go online and take pictures of themselves with their guns and whatnot, now's your chance. Like, you could be down there with the aid workers. You have fundraising networks. Mm-hmm. You have large fundraising networks where, thousands, maybe millions of you could contribute $1 punk-ass dollar each for their travel expenses, food expenses, what, lodging, is that the word?
Mm-hmm.
They're lodging, right? We respect the Third Amendment, all right? They're not going to come into your home, and have them out there providing aid and with pride flags on, right? So like when some poor Texas person is getting their shit cleared out of their destroyed home, people with pride flags are the ones doing it. Mm-hmm. And then get that image out there. Propaganda. What I would have preferred the Mexican president do is look at that, don't say anything about it, not one word, and just aid people in blue states, in blue counties with their electric bills. With that same funding.
That would be nice.
Yeah, take that same funding and put it to blue county electric bills. And just and when they ask why, just be like, I'm Catholic.
Why what?
Which is a wing of Christianity. I represent Jesus. I see people in need. I'm helping them. Do you have are you anti-Christian? Is that your thing? Do you hate Jesus?
You know what they're gonna say. Charity starts at home.
Then talk over them. Talk over them. Do what they do. Stop being nice.
Do stop being nice. Oh God. Yeah.
Yeah. Again, there's a reason why Republicans at my job don't like interacting with me. I'm not the punk-ass leftist that they thought existed from the internet.
Right?
Yeah, it's a little awkward for them. They know I can kick their ass.
I gotta say, the whole, the online leftists with gun things, it's that fucking meme, with the stick, poking the guy, come on, hero, do something.
Yeah.
Fucking do something, come on.
And this fucking myth they're obsessed with, if you go far enough left, you get your guns back. Wait, now, just that sentence alone, if you go far enough left, you get your guns back. So if I go more ideologically to where you are, right? Say someone, their political ideology pretty much start with Hillary Clinton not baking cookies and Obama literally just being black and in that office. Mm-hmm. And that's pretty much where they are. They think racism is bad. They think homophobia is bad. They think you should let drag queens read to children. Mm-hmm. But you want them to get more Marxist,
right?
Because one guy, 4 books, you want him to get more there. But how do you get your guns back when no one took them away?
Right.
That's the thing. You white leftists love to play into a right-wing framework. No one's guns have been taken away. How do you get something back that hasn't been taken away? No liberal took your gun. And also, do y'all even ever listen to liberals? I'm starting to think y'all never ever heard liberals. Every school shooting back in the old days, Phoenix Calida knows, I used to listen to podcasts all the fuck long day. And even Bob Seska and Ches Pazienza, Get Lost Boy, Go Visit Your Big Cousin. Whenever there was a school shooting and right-wingers talking about, all these liberals were like, what? I got hella straps. Y'all have no idea how much liberals with money have straps.
Ain't Kamala talk about she has straps, come find out at her house?
Yeah.
See?
Y'all just like to make this shit up because for some reason your whiteness, what up?
Because they don't... I can't believe I'm about to say this, but much like right-wingers, they don't actually know anything about liberals. No. Because a lot of liberals, when there is a school shooting, there are liberals who'll be like, oh, we need to talk about gun control. These niggas been talking about gun control my whole fucking life. I've never really seen super substantial, significant gun legislation passed that's we're gonna come to your house and take your guns.
Yeah. Ever.
But, they talk about it all the time, but they never actually, pass anything that's we're gonna take your guns. What was the last big thing that I think almost passed was the bump stock ban? Mm-hmm. But that was going forward, right?
And also, who actually did put some shit in place? The Bush administration.
The Bush administration.
Right wing. And then you know how police are innately, inherently, and intractably right wing? Where have I seen gun buyback programs since I was a preteen? By sheriff's offices.
Yep.
Sheriffs have always led gun buyback programs in cities. Mm-hmm. And I've seen the little specials on MTV and Inside Edition. Remember that shit back in the 90s? That's how we scrolled our feed. It was called a cable box. scrolling these news channels, nigga.
But
So yeah, that's the shit
I
I'm
don't.
seeing.
Yeah, I don't. That just sounds like so silly to me, and also like just sounds very, very white. Because if we are legitimately talking about like people having their guns taken away or people not having access to guns, it's not white people that have this problem. Like overwhelmingly.
Yeah.
So it's like I really gotta wonder what they actually know about gun legislation.
Fucking nothing.
You know.
All they know is, and I think the obsession with like appealing to the right-wing framework is that in racial classification, what is whiteness? It's going to be the right wing. And like, so you just can't help but see things through that white lens of, you look at, well, who's the most alpha in the room?
Right.
The right-wing white man with millions of dollars and a suit on telling you that liberals took your guns, so you take his stance. You have no idea, white leftists, how much more right-wing, patriarchal, and white supremacist you internally are with that stupid-ass fucking framing.
Ugh.
Just drop out of the conversation space until you get your mind right, dipshit. Again, you see how I just said that? So I'm not here to be nice. Why are you being nice? What the fuck else is happening here? I saw some shit on the blue sky.
I see.
That's mostly where I'm bringing shit from.
All right.
Right, because apparently that's the town square.
It is the town square. Well, I mean, we don't have a Nazi chat bot, so, you know, there's that, but...
Ugh. Grok.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, why? Just put the other 2 Ks on it. Quit being silly. Right?
They temporarily disbanded him. He's not online anymore.
Oh, God.
It's not online anymore. I said he like it's a fucking person.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all right. We're gonna be slow walked into and keep in mind, like, because you gotta pay attention to the language. I mean what I say, and I say what I mean. Every prefix, suffix, root word, I select relatively carefully, and I fucking mean them. Right? I say Neo Confederate, Neo Confederate, Neo Confederate. That's the ideology. And when I say what they're gonna be able to accomplish, again, Neo prefix meaning new. Neo feudalism is what they will accomplish and are building toward right now. Alligator Alcatraz, neo-feudalism labor site coming your way. Oh, all across Texas, Arizona, there's going to be neo-feudalism labor sites.
Yeah.
Let me launch into this here. An individual on the blue sky that goes by Leah Douglas on the blue sky. They shared a Reuters article. And the Reuters headline tells us, excuse me, U.S. Farm Secretary says no amnesty for farm workers from deportation. We're always called by our labor and not by our humanity. The farm workers. And Leah Douglas put their spin on it, which is what social media's for. They put, there will be no amnesty for U.S. farm workers from deportation, per Agriculture Secretary Rollins. Rollins, I've seen his face before. This person was posing in front of the cages. Trump wants a 100% American workforce, she said. There are 34 million able-bodied adults in our Medicaid program. There are plenty of workers in America. And I don't think there was enough to that caption. So let's add to it, right? Let's pay attention to the words and think about what they really mean.
Right.
Right? Like, yes, I mean what I say, and I say what I mean. They fucking don't.
Right.
They've never stopped using the Southern strategy, which, truth be told, is merely an expansion of UDC strategy, United Daughters of the Confederacy. Right. So pay attention to what the words. Pay attention to the words. Think about them. What they really mean. Taking these people at face value is a fatal flaw.
Yeah.
Trump himself, like, quit putting it on Trump and fascists and Nazis. All right. First off, Trump as an individual doesn't give a damn about anything. His brain is half mashed potatoes, half pudding pops. Right. Like, pretty much all that's going through Trump's head is just kind of like Bill Cosby dancing in a pudding pop commercial and like an Aunt Jemima bottle and, you know, like Elvis Presley swinging his hips. Yeah, like that's all that's happening. That's not a lot is going on in that fucking head. Like, keep it official. right? And I know there's somebody that's going to be like, that's ableist. Sure. Go comment somewhere else. Bye. Right? Like, I'm done talking to these fucking people. Like, we're in the shit. We're too in the shit for stupid conversations.
Yeah.
Right? And so the Neo Confederate Party wants the closest thing they can get to chattel slavery.
Yep.
And this means we'll be getting tiered feudalism. I mean what I say and I say what I mean. Tiered feudalism. Like, my position in tiered feudalism, I'm eating kind of high on the hog, baby. You know? Factory job, the 401k, I'm gonna lose that. That's gone. That's already that's gonna get sold off to Wall Street with my Social Security.
Right.
You know, so however much I can save in golden nuggets in the basement, that will be my retirement. You know, like golden nuggets and toilet paper. I've got so much. Right. Phoenix Calida, my wife, has some office etiquette, has some office stylings. Well, we got eating high on the hog in neo-feudalism, right? We gonna be able to afford a Facebook account and cookies. Like, we're gonna be able to get the fancy stuff. You know, kind of all right. We have a washing machine.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure, it's a $200 generic Magic Chef brand washing machine, but it's fucking ours. We bought it, and I repaired it when it broke, and it still works. It's our cheap-ass washing machine.
Right.
She was like $250. God damn it.
It was a good investment.
It's fucking ours. And yeah, it's not very big, and I can only put about half a size load in it, but it's fucking ours. We're eating high on the hog in tiered feudalism.
Right.
Right? Like, I can get over 40 hours a week sometimes. I got 44 hours last week. I tell you what. Right, but these folks, what they're going to be doing with folks that are classified as immigrants, categorized as immigrants, they're going to be down lower. And then some brothers that don't have what I had, which was parent privilege, right? Unearned advantage of who my biological mother was. Some other black men, able-bodied black men in my age group, are also going to be lower down in tiered feudalism. It's going to be fucked up, right? Like, imagine you have a misdemeanor on your record, going to be a little more fucked up for you.
Yep.
Felony conviction, a lot more fucked up for you. And then also, like, the further you are from, like, where Phoenix Calida is with, like, office etiquette, understanding the nuances and how to communicate with these fucking people, it's going to be worse. Like, tiered feudalism, gonna be ugly. And then there's people that are gonna be a little bit above me in tiered feudalism. And I'll tell you what, they gonna be driving a SUV. That's called a sport utility vehicle. And yeah, they won't ever be able to buy a house, but when they're out on the block, you can see them in that big shiny vehicle that you'll probably rob them for. But don't worry. The propagandists will talk about how there's more crime so that your wage can stay low and more your tax dollars can go to a cop to arrest you for a crime someone else committed.
Yes.
It's going to be ugly.
Yeah,
I've been riffing. I said it up.
No, I think that they are actually going to deport most of the people labeled as immigrants.
Yeah.
And then it's just going to be, because they passed that fucking bill with that ICE budget. The police budgets are, like, I don't think people understand how big police budgets are
already
in major cities. So yeah, like, it's just going to be convict leasing, really. I think it's just going to really go back to debtors' prisons, because I think that's going to happen because we already have a police state, right? But we are also tying that with mass surveillance. And so it's going to be shit like more speeding cameras, more right? Like, putting people in a position where they can't afford fines. When you can't afford fines, you end up going to jail. When you end up going to jail, you have to work when you're in jail. So, like, it's that, you know? And then, of course, like, I think people also, you know, don't pay attention to the news. And we have states like Louisiana as a prime one that's making it harder to appeal your conviction if you were wrongfully convicted. I believe they eliminated parole, right? Like, so if you get 25 to life, that just means life now. Like, it doesn't mean 25, and you can be like, I did 25, cannot go. There is no cannot go. Nah. It's just for life. You know, so we're starting to see that. And that's just, I think, what it's going to end up being. And, you know, a bunch of black people have been saying for years that white people would gladly bring back chattel slavery, like they would vote for it. And it was, oh, y'all are so hyperbolic and these niggers, and y'all don't let the past go. It's not like that anymore. And now here the fuck we are. Because who the fuck do you think they're going to send to these fields? Honestly, who? Because we're talking about people on like Medicaid and Medicare, but half the people on Medicaid are minors, so it's going to be kids. It's going to be black people, because they're not sending some fucking 80-year-old white woman with emphysema into a fucking strawberry picking job. Like, they're just not.
Yeah.
So who's going, really, you know?
And they, after the 25 years, there will be a Can I Go? And it will be, I did my 25 years. I had relatively good behavior. I only had like maybe 6 infractions in the entire 25 years. Pretty good, relatively speaking. I'd like to be released to a freedom farm.
Yes.
Which is where the tiered feudalism will be at the lowest point.
Yes.
You will be off to a freedom farm, and guess what you get on your freedom farm? You get shared room and board with other inmates that have matriculated to this new level of labor.
So it's just a halfway house, but on a plantation. It's basically what it is.
Well, there are plants, and it is in the nation. What if it's more of a plant nation?
That's how RFK is going to try to spin it, which is like so wild to me how so many people still can't see this shit coming. RFK said take people who use, like, mentally ill people or people who are on medication, put them into farms. The fucking, the Department of Homeland Security and the agricultural secretary are saying we're going to open up these agricultural jobs, like, and all while deporting the migrants who do these jobs. Like, y'all really don't see it coming?
And look at, like, how they responded to Gus Walls.
And an absolute unchecked police budget. And they can just snatch you up from wherever and put you in whatever prison until whenever. Y'all don't see it coming still.
And because of y'all's white leftist anti-blackness, because your whiteness is innately right-wing, and that is a thing about you that you refuse to unpack, I keep seeing you stupid motherfuckers seeing this shit and saying, that's the trial balloon kidnapping people off the street. No, nigga. The trial balloon of kidnapping people off the street was back when it was Freddie Gray and Michael Brown and Breonna Taylor, and there were videos of them snatching black activists off the streets when they were doing Black Lives Matter protests, and they saw, oh, we could just do that.
How many activists, like, from Ferguson, like, local activists, are still not active, alive?
Yeah, a lot of murders.
Like, how many, do you, fuck, I can't, the one with that iconic ass, I forgot his name, but that iconic ass shot where he had, like, the bag of chips in one hand and was, like, throwing the thing back, dead. Apparently committed suicide in a car, I guess.
Oh.
Right? Then there was another one. I'm so bad. It's been so long I've forgotten the names, but there was another one. Apparently, a black man in Ferguson, which pretty much is the South, I think we can agree, right? It's Missouri.
Yeah.
Committed suicide by hanging himself from a tree while taking his pants down.
Yeah, the Midwest is caviar South.
I guess it was, I don't know. But yeah, so apparently a black man who was very interested in civil justice committed suicide by hanging himself from a tree while half naked. Okay, sure, seems plausible.
Yeah. Right, and I like how I don't even know that story, but that's also because the white left online is kind of just recreation and business.
Yeah.
On the business end, move to the next story, move to the next story, move to the next story. Gotta get the clicks, gotta pay the bills.
Yeah. I think the one about the man that allegedly hung himself, that one always sticks out in my head because, like, one of the notes was that when they had found him, he was, like, in rigor mortis, right? So that's, like, a phase after you die, your body, like, gets really tense and, like, you can't, like, move it until it, like, relaxes again. When he was in rigor mortis, his fists were clenched. And I was like, wow, that's kind of weird that he was making fists as he was dying while intentionally hanging himself from a tree. But yeah, like that just, anyways. But yeah, and I would actually, while I agree with what you say that the balloon was snatching black activists off the streets, I would say that it goes back even further than that.
No. No.
Because that same shit happened during the civil rights era when black people started protesting, right?
Man, what?
Right?
Really?
Really? I know you're not gonna believe
They've
this.
been doing this shit?
You're not gonna believe this, but the Klan would just like show up and kidnap people in the middle of the night. Crazy, right?
Wait a second.
I know.
This sounds like you're gonna go a little too far, and I'm gonna help you.
I'm gonna help you.
Because let's do it again. Since I was a little kid, and I'm glad my mother taught me to not trust these people and pay attention to them, like how they act more so than like what they do or what they say. Mm-hmm. And like one thing I noticed was they are obsessed with the N-word.
Yeah.
They want to talk about it. They want to ask you why you say it. They want to say it to you. They want you to hear them saying it. They're going to be like, it just means ignorant. Nigger, there's white niggers. They just love saying it. It's an obsession. But then also, they also love saying, Africans sold other Africans in slavery to the white man. Africans sold it. So there were no kidnappings?
No.
Because it seems like kidnapping people into slavery is a long-ass white practice.
Yes, it is.
Well, Freedom Farms.
Freedom Farms.
A plant nation, if you will.
A plant nation.
Is what they took them to.
Because, see, when you said you were going to help me go back, I thought we were going to go back even further in history.
God damn it.
Because I thought we were going to point out that when chattel slavery was legal before the Civil War, before the Emancipation Proclamation, there was a whole group of people called slave catchers.
Oh, shit. Catcher Freeman.
Catcher Freeman. And they would just drag you back to slavery whether you were a slave or not. You could have been born free. Didn't matter. You could have been a runaway slave. Didn't matter. Could have been a slave who got your freedom somehow. Doesn't matter. Because once you get backed down to that, underneath that Mason-Dixon line, guess the fuck what?
And, it seems like you'd be able to get this messaging more so to a liberal white woman than you could to, like, some white leftists anywhere on the gender spectrum.
Of course.
That,
because white liberal women watch 12 Years a Slave.
Damn. Huh. And they think more. White liberal women are actually smarter than white leftists in general. More constructive, too. And even though there's gonna be some goofy shit, like, they're actually more active out there. Like, there were more liberal white women out there with their fucking knitted pink hats.
Yeah.
I'm gonna march for a difference, goddammit. And yeah, it's gonna be some of the dorkiest shit you've seen in your life. Yeah. But what was a white leftist doing?
Right, yeah, we did clown them. We did clown them for high-fiving the cops, but...
They tried.
They did something, at least. Which is so funny now, because every weekend there's the anti-Tesla protest and the No Kings protest. And I swear to God that this is like, capitalism is going to be its own undoing because it's fucking with wine moms. Because Joann's is closed and now they don't have anywhere to be on a Saturday. So they will be at these fucking anti-Tesla protests. And I know it sounds like a little bit snarky and silly, but I think there really is like a layer of truth to that. Like, you're pissing off the wine moms and they don't like it.
And it'd be smart to run propaganda against Hobby Lobby.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Remind people how evil Hobby Lobby is. So I think, like, the messaging as far as the kidnapping goes, like, best believe red states will be doing that when it comes to women trying to leave to get reproductive health care. Yeah, there's going to be go and catch your ass.
Yeah, that story that was going around a couple weeks ago about how a cop in Texas was using license plate readers, which, I mean, I don't know who believed they were only ever going to use it to catch people who were speeding, right? But he was using it to track women who were leaving the state for abortions.
Think about that shit. Think about the other sheriff that wanted to record people's addresses that had Joe Biden signs in their yards.
Yep.
Now remember, the headline was he wanted to do it. We got no follow-up on if they did or not, which they did.
They did.
Like, you think that these people don't do everything evil?
Right.
That's what they're about. And basically, you're looking at something to reference.
I am, because I forgot what state it was, but they just passed, they had passed like a thing where basically it allows third-party data brokers to like take your data, obviously. But now, like, if you you go to like Walmart's website, like a thing pops up that says like we collect your third-party data. So if you're looking at anything like about like birth control or condoms or like reproductive care, your data will be sent to our data brokers. So if you're looking for condoms, like go somewhere else, basically, is what it came down to.
Yeah, and they're gonna make people like fucking start wanting to just carry cash and stop using debit cards and shit.
Yeah, Virginia. Yeah, it's the law states that identifiable reproductive information can't be obtained or disclosed without consent has led to Walmart telling consumers that searching, viewing, and purchasing items like condoms and period products is giving consent to Walmart to collect and potentially sell that information.
Potentially sell.
Right.
It's not a guarantee that we'll sell it.
But yeah, so I mean, be careful about where you're shopping. And it's so funny because I got this pop-up too because my VPN happened to be in Virginia right after I saw this story, and I was like, really? And went to Walmart, and there it was. But yeah, like it isn't going to incentivize people to go back to get cash, you know, or start like getting like prepaid debit cards or something, you know, like because this is just ridiculous.
Yeah. I guess, and like, we're older, we won't be targeted as much, but fucking, it's bad, and I don't want to be fucked with. Mm-hmm. Like, I've earned my age. Right? Right, we busted our ass to fucking be alive and shit, and like, both my eyeballs work. Holy fuck, I'm still using all 10 fingers. Like, I'm in my grown-ass 40s adulthood. Leave me a fucking alone.
Oh god, I gotta find that post for you now where someone was like, I appreciate in Spanish how the literal translation is I have so many years, whereas in your English I am so many years. Like, I have earned every one of those goddamn years.
Yeah. Right? That's like, you know, like whenever, like in patriarchy, like if you ask a woman, like, oh, like just casually, just like, oh yeah, hey, how old are you? And they don't want to say. Mm-hmm. And like I always say, oh, those are all survival years. Like, think about all those, every single one of you, and they're always like, huh, yeah, I never thought of it that way. I'm like, you goddamn right, motherfucking shit. Like, and then every once in a while, I kind of gauge them and be like, you survived patriarchy. You know, just see
what they do.
Yeah, where you at already? I need to know where I have to catapult the propaganda. And also, if you're not propagandizing your coworkers, go fuck yourself.
Yes, propagandize your coworkers, please.
Jesus, man.
But yeah, getting back to your point about how, like, you know, how are we going to respond as citizens to, like, all this bullshit? Obviously, you said I will be fucked with less because of our age, and I tend to agree. But I also, like, worry for younger people because I don't know if they have, like, the skill set.
Yeah.
Because, like, you know, because we saw all these phases of surveillance coming in, so we remember what we were doing before. They don't. Like, they've always lived like this, you know what I mean?
And you just reminded me of something from the years we grew up where I want to correct myself on, like, almost all my years of saying words on the internet, which is a lot. I got my first computer in 98, okay? And I've always said, we had media literacy training when I was a kid. We had media literacy training when I was a kid. And I'm looking back. I think I thought of this in the car with you, but I don't know if I said it. But I know I thought it. Because all the kids that I grew up with didn't go this direction. And it's also because we had access to media literacy training.
Right.
You had to choose to take it.
Yeah.
Right? Like, yeah, I got out of school and I sat down and watched the little Disney or ABC or local Fox News 13 special on kids with a blindfold on, taking a Coke and Pepsi and not knowing which one was which, or the one on, I think it was Disney or ABC, one of them, like, mostly leaned on, like, look, it had two guys dancing with boom boxes, and one of them just had a pile of garbage next to him building because of all the batteries, while the other one just kept dancing to the same rechargeable batteries.
Right.
Right, and it's like, and then even in the school library, we had these kids' magazines that had media literacy training in them, like, don't trust this kind of commercial, don't trust this kind of rhetoric. But I chose to check out those magazines.
Yeah.
Out of all the other books, the other kids were like, R.L. Stein again.
Yeah.
And so I gotta realize, no, that's why people my age were not a monolith. You had access and you had a choice And it's like, yeah, I read the Ramona Quimby book too, but I also went for the media literacy shit.
Yeah.
And I think that, again, it comes back to parental privilege. What kind of parents did you have? Did you have the kind of parents that were like, Ernest goes to jail, we gotta go up to Blockbuster and rent that? Or did you have a parent like mine who said, Malcolm X hits theaters today, I'm pulling you out of school to watch the first showing?
Yeah, I think you had a lot of parental privilege, and I think that's very good for you. You're very fortunate. The rest of us had to learn shit the hard way.
Oof, yeah, Phoenix Calida did not have that shit.
Well, I mean, I guess I had it in other ways, because it helped with, like, office etiquette type stuff. But,
yeah.
But, yeah, not really so much in being able to...
socio-political.
Right, exactly. But, yeah, no, I think that that's a very valid point, and it really... I think for me, probably, I think I was on the right path just because, ironically, because we didn't have cable, which was a thing back then. And so, like, if I was watching, you know, cartoons, it was whatever was on, it was WTTW Chicago, but that was PBS, right? So it was public broadcasting.
Jesus.
So that was, like, their shit was just... more informative than what might have been on, like, a Nickelodeon or a Disney Channel or a whoever, you know? And so, like, yeah, what you have access to, I think, really matters in that sense. And, yeah, I don't know what they have access to now. I don't know. I think, you know, I sound like an old person here, but I think having a smartphone is probably not great for, like, a 12-year-old.
Yeah.
Because you can...
We're never going to convince people.
You know, because, you know, it's a big wide world out there. And, you know, I mean, not to bring it back to Twitter, but I think the whole Grok thing is kind of a really great example of that. Because how many people now are like, well, I asked AI and I can just trust AI, right? Grok went from, I will critique Elon Musk to trying to start the Nazi pile, the N-word thing.
Yeah.
You know, where, like, they spell out nigger, like every person starts a sentence with the word to spell. Yeah, Grok tried to start one yesterday.
Huh.
Yeah, and called himself Mecha Hitler and said that we need Hitler back because he would resolve our problems with the Jews.
Yeah.
And, like...
I don't know if this is the only thing they did, but they told it to not be politically correct anymore.
That cannot possibly be the only thing they did because his language choices were, like, very specific. Like, it was some, like, forged, very specific, like, neo-Nazi language that was being used. And also, we're gonna find out that this whole thing was, like, some troll project of, like, 8chan or whatever, because the account that started it was Grok critiquing an account with a Jewish name, because allegedly this account was, like, making fun of, like, dead white kids drowning in Texas and these floods. It's not a real account. They stole a woman's face and made, like, an AI of her face, but it's an OnlyFans performer.
You know, it's real ill this time. It's like, well, you're talking about everything. That old story, it was about not letting a Nazi in your bar because it'll become a Nazi bar. Mm-hmm. But now it's like, people choosing to go on Twitter and literally make new Twitter accounts and start a Twitter profile, people are going to the Nazi bar.
Yeah.
And a lot of that is because, you know, and I thought of this, I was listening to some records, you know, I listen to, like, only, like, old 90s records mostly. And somebody was like, their line was, is something... Cook 'em, shook 'em like Yahtzee. I'm more hated than the Nazis. Swotes and niggas is my posse. And it was like, Nazis used to be bad.
Yeah.
They're just not anymore.
Yeah.
Nazis is now regular guy. Nazi is just your regular coworker whose head isn't bald. He doesn't have any tattoos. He smiles at black people and shakes their hands, and also tells you that you can buy raw milk from his friend out here. You want to get some raw milk? Come on, get some raw milk on Saturday. Mm-hmm. You know, like, and that's a Nazi now. A Nazi is now, if you're not white, is your boyfriend, is just a Nazi, and that's regular.
Yeah, I think that the internet has a lot to do with that, honestly. Because, like, it made it so, two things. I think the first thing is that a lot of white people don't actually understand other white people.
Yeah.
Right?
Or they refused to believe that other white people could possibly be acting in bad faith.
Yeah.
Ever.
Because, like, no, if you're a Nazi, then you have to have, like, a swastika tattooed across your forehead and, like, talk about trying to lynch niggers all the time. Like, that's a Nazi. And it's like, no. Remember when Mother Jones called Richard Spencer a dapper Nazi? Like, that's a fucking normal-ass thing to say.
We all saw the same movie in the late 90s where when he got out of prison and the lead Nazi guy in, what was it, American History X?
Yeah.
The lead guy, he didn't know that he had quit the Nazi party yet, and he saw his full head of hair and said, yeah, this is good, you can go under the radar.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, this was over a quarter century ago, you stupid fucks.
Shit, I mean, when did the Ghost Skins report come out? That was, like, under Obama.
Yeah, what was that? 2014, 13? Ah, man.
Somewhere around there,
Don't quote me on that.
Yeah, like that shit came out. But, so I think it's one is white people don't understand other white people. Mm-hmm. And part of that is like just refusal to acknowledge that white people can be assholes, like on a deeply systemic level.
And white people can be assholes that you don't know yet. You don't know jack shit about them. And that's a big problem. Like, well, I don't want to prejudge them. Hey, man. Yeah, and then that's when I see everything we're saying now is like the warning, and it's like the warning's over.
I know. So I think it's that, and then also like part of their shit is that they intentionally code what they say, right? Because like they're not promoting eugenics. They just have questions about vaccines, right?
Yeah.
Like they aren't opposed to modern medicine. They just wonder if there are alternative remedies, right?
See?
Like all that shit. And because they're white, they get the plausible deniability. And now everyone's like, how did all these crunchy moms become trad wife Nazis? Because you told them it was okay to talk about alternative medicine from people who are fucking right-wing eugenicist quacks whose whole opinion is like, let everyone die, white people are naturally superior and we'll be fine. Like, that's how that shit happened. But then also the internet brought these people together because, you know, it was easier before we had social media in a sense, to like sort of rein people in because fucking like Janice from Idaho would never have been in a situation where she would have been talking to Kevin from Florida.
Yeah.
But now they're in the same, you know, they're in the same group on Facebook. They follow the same people on Twitter, so they interact with each other. And like, now we're spreading these ideas and making them seem normal and mainstream. And like, Janice is like, how can Kevin from Florida be a bad guy? He posts about his kids and how much he loves being an American, and he works on his truck on the weekends, and he goes out hunting. And, you know, I'm not sure how I feel about hunting, but, you know, he just likes to be outdoors, right? And then you find out, like, Kevin's actually, like, a fucking, like, doomsday prepper who can't wait for the society to collapse so he can own slaves.
Yeah.
What the fuck? But these people never would have talked to each other 30, 40 years ago. Like, how would they have connected, you know? And so that's also accelerating that shit. And then the fucking algorithms that push it on certain people anyway, like, just amplifies the problem. But
I always thought about that if I had the time, like, really, like, open up a whole new Google account to make a new email and make a brand new Facebook account and just join a couple right-wing groups and see how fast it goes. Which, I mean, at this point, is probably just already there. There is nowhere to go fast. Let's see. Toward the end here, I want to goof around a bit.
Oh, no.
King of the Hill.
Yes.
The cartoon.
Yes.
I've seen this online, and I've never joined in because I'm not very fun. But the argument is, would Dale have voted Trump? Which, given that King of the Hill, outside of Hank surviving the fucking explosion and Peggy surviving the skydiving incident, relative realism going on in the show, in the style of animation, the things the characters are capable of. It's not like like Simpsons, you don't survive the gorge. It ends there.
Right.
Right. Krusty would have had a major fucking heart attack in his fucking early 30s. Right? Like, King of the Hill has more relative realism.
Yeah.
And I think in that relative realism, fuck yeah, Dale would have voted Trump. And not under Rusty Shackelford. And not only... What up?
Go ahead.
Oh, and also, Hank Like, cause I'm on season 12 of a long ass binge watch.
Right.
I just been at work. Sometimes I play records, but most of the time I have these nice little fitted t-shirts where the fabric keeps me cool. But because they're so fitted, I can literally tuck my Bluetooth speaker on my shoulder under my shit and it stays there all day.
Oh, nice.
So I can just hear the program all day. And there's a whole bunch of shit that Hank says and does. 100% that Southern Texas Neo Confederate white man would be 100% Trump.
Yeah.
And then also, yes, he would be a Fafo story of, well, I didn't know they deport Enrique, which is one of his co-workers at Strickland Propane. Peggy? Oh, come on now. Peggy's QAnon mom all day.
Oh, fuck yeah.
All she's wanted was a reason to be important. QAnon and Bobby? Oh yeah, manosphere racist, making racist jokes about Connie having a sideways vagina all day.
He would try to have sex with Connie just so he could film it and upload it to shame her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, all day. All fucking day. And Boomhauer, he's the least predictable to me, though I think he'd probably be one of them. He'd be a Lincoln Project Republican. That's my read on Boomhauer.
Really?
I think, and it's also because he doesn't get much story.
Right.
You don't know enough about him other than, like, he's a playboy by process of elimination, and he had a job with the government.
Yeah.
Which, given that he had a job that's funded by the taxpayer, he may be a little bit more centrist. Like, hey, don't be cutting funding on everything. Hey, cool, what the fuck? Hey, man, they're gonna fund it, man. They got them bills, man. Yeah, like he may defect to a Lincoln Project Republican.
Yeah, I think almost every main character on that show would vote Republican.
Yeah.
Khan, because he's not like other immigrants and fuck them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, Hank would, and I think because a lot of people make the moral argument that Hank would be like, he's not gonna vote for like the guy who's always like cheating on his wife and like declaring bankruptcy, and like his alternative is a Democrat though. So even if morally Hank is opposed to Trump, he's not gonna vote for a fucking Democrat. Nope. Be serious.
Not ever.
Be serious.
They hate the party of Lyndon Johnson. Y'all really don't understand how much they fucking hate the Civil Rights Act. Y'all don't get the Voting Rights Act. They are so fucking mad still. And partly is because that's where most of the N-words were. Mm-hmm. And it's like, we don't want all these N-words voting in fucking liberals now.
Right.
Ruining our fun.
Yeah. Yeah, and then of course, I think Peggy would be a QAnon mom.
Big time.
Luann, I think, would have voted for Trump because she would have gotten the fear propaganda about like, but I just want to get married and have a baby. What if an immigrant finds us?
And her husband is raggedy ass Rusty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They would have voted for Trump. I don't know about Dale. I think Dale would have voted for Trump once, maybe, like the first time, and then not seen progress on his like weirdo government conspiracy things. Like I think Hank and like it would have been not Hank. It would have been Dale and Peggy would have had like an episode where they become friends like under a Trump administration, like because they like both believe in like QAnon. But after like the first administration, Dale's gonna be like, he's not doing anything. He's in on it. Like, that would be Dale, I think.
Which is what Ben Shapiro tried to be, yes.
Yeah, and then I think Peggy would still stay with it, though, because it makes her feel special.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think maybe Dale would have gone first administration, and that would have been the end of it. Because then I think he's so deep in the conspiracy theories, he would have, like, pivoted back to the idea that even the president can't take down, like, them or they or whoever that is behind everything.
And given Peggy's career, you know what her TikTok would be like. She would have a second TikTok called Q Espanol, which is like Le QAnon Ito, and where she just fucks up Spanish.
She would. And her thing would be trying to save like Mexican children from sex trafficking.
Like how she kidnapped one in one episode.
Exactly, it would be that.
Yeah, I think a lot of people that want to be in that conversation, that show has way more seasons than season 1 through 4. Mm-hmm. That's the thing. I think y'all are basing this because, right, you're probably in my age group. and you're probably more mature than me, which I now rethink that. And you probably looked at it because it was a cartoon and we were youngsters, and then you grew up and went on to more grown-up things, and you have no idea that show went for like 10 more seasons. And we have a lot more context to those characters as to what they would be in a post-Gamergate era.
I think maybe Nancy, that's Dale's wife.
Yeah.
I think she might have secretly voted Democrat, maybe.
Yeah.
I think she might be like, well, John Redcorn probably didn't vote, but those might be the only two that didn't, like, main characters that didn't vote Republican. Strickland would have been ecstatic to vote for Trump.
I think 2025, Redcorn and Nancy would flee.
Quite possibly, yeah, and just leave Joseph behind, like, can't save it, we gotta go.
Yeah, he's too dumb. You seen this fucking kid?
Because how deep would Joseph be in the manosphere right now?
Fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god, he would be Enrique Tarrio.
And he has the lisp before. Yeah! and also identifying as white because he didn't know who his real father is. Mm-hmm. I'm just swarthy. Yeah, and you mentioned Buck Strickland. I was thinking that he would probably coerce his employees to vote Trump.
Yeah, he would probably, I don't know if he would, like offer them financial incentives or, like, threaten to fire them, coercion.
We have context. In the 2012, there was a Florida business owner that said that he would close the business down and lay everyone off if Romney didn't win. So, yes, we have context, and so, yeah, he'd probably threaten to shut the business down. Yeah, and just sell it. And you know he's a millionaire. We've seen his house in the episode where he becomes a mentor to Bobby.
Okay, would Cotton vote for Trump?
Cotton? No.
I don't think he would either.
No. I would vote Trump, because he's a New York bullshitter. He's a New York bullshitter and gangster. And that would be the end of the conversation. It would not be a long one. Like, he would say that, and then he would go back to talking to his fucking friends and playing poker. Like, that would come and go fast.
He never killed 50 men.
Yeah, he'd be like, now that Obama, that drone program, he kills 50 men a day.
Oh my god, he fucking would have. Oh god, I could just see a fucking Obama ad playing in the background and Cotton casually turn around and be like, he's Kenyan. The way he did to Khan when he first met Khan.
And then when Dale shows up and says, you know he's from Kenya, he'd look again. No, American born. Mother's from Midwest. Because, yeah, and we have our context for that. Because when he met Khan, he's like, Laotian.
Right, because it was also creepy, though. So, like, I have to add a context, because people think that makes Cotton the good guy. The way he did that was fucking creepy as shit. Because no one knew what the fuck Laotian meant, and they're like, so Chinese or Japanese? Because that was the excitement. And Cotton's just like, no, you're Laotian, aren't you? And I was like, oh my god. Like, it was giving me, like, it was kind of creepy.
Yeah, Cotton's still a bad guy. He doesn't treat Dee Dee great.
No, he doesn't.
Right? Or, I forget Hank's mother's name. Yeah, he does not treat her great either, and they haven't been together since. Right? She done moved on and found her a nice Jewish man.
So she would be voting Democrat.
Yep, big time.
Yeah.
Big time. Yeah, that's what I think of that King of the Hill thing as I'm about to clock in and finish season 12. All right, quit goofing around with me, folks. I look into shit before I talk about it. That's why I have a bigger track record of I told you so's than you.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm saying to you, whoever is listening, trust, babes, I have a longer track record of told you so's than you.
We do.
Yeah.
It's a little ridiculous, actually.
Oh, yeah. Very, very heavy-handed long track record. Right? Even back in like 96, 97. I was like, who's this DMX guy? Yeah, watch this guy. Right? Or I remember way back, I was like, it seems like Gabrielle Union only plays one character. I don't know where his career's going. Or also, here's one. I was just listening to something. Come to find out, Candace Owens doesn't really get less than 1 million views per upload.
Yep.
And But maybe you're right, because Phoenix Calida was still on the Facebook when I made this one. Who was the one that was working for Glenn Beck and got fired? Look how we don't even remember her fucking name. Everybody.
Oh,
Tommy Lauren. And I said Candace Owens is better at this job than Tommy Lauren and will be bigger and last longer. Yeah. It's 2025. I'd like to revisit everyone that came in that thread popping shit. I have a longer track record and a more accurate one. Because you can see the coldness. Because Candace Owens is literally more evil than Tammy Lawrence. Tammy Lawrence is, reluctantly evil. Candace Owens is proactively evil.
Yeah.
All right? Feel me? And what fits Republicanism, Neo Confederateism better than reluctive or proactive? All right. It is 4:24 in the a.m. I have a shift to get to. The instrumental that you are hearing under this that I don't get copyright for on YouTube is original Tacoma hip hop.
Yes. Yeah, sorry. I'm just glancing. A hospital 90 miles away from Houston just closed because of the big, beautiful bill. And the sign on the hospital literally just says, "We're closed, please call 911. So I'll be following up on that.
Oh, and get ready for right-wingers to do propaganda about Philadelphia being covered in garbage because sanitation workers are on strike.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so that propaganda is coming your way. It will be decontextualized and in bad faith. And if you're a white leftist, get ready. Your fellow whitesman is going to look you in your face, smile, say good morning, and give you cookies and then fucking lie to you.
Yep.
Because they're a bad person. You need to be less trusting of your fellow whitesman.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. We done finished.